Okay, we're going to get started now. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. My name is Chris Blandy, and I lead strategic business development for media entertainment, games, and sports at AWS. And I am proud to moderate this discussion with these two leaders from IMAX, Vikram Arumilli, who is the general manager of the IMAX Enhanced business, and Abdul Rehman, the CTO. So thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes. So, Vikram, why don't we start with you? Can you tell me a little bit about what is IMAX Enhanced and what are some of the things you're doing to bring these experiences to theaters?
Yeah, sure. So at IMAX Enhanced, our goal is to basically bring the power of IMAX closer to consumers wherever they're consuming content. So obviously IMAX has an incredibly powerful brand theatrically. We have amazing relationships with studios. We have incredible relationships with our fans globally. And our view is that that can extend to anywhere people are watching content, whether it's in the home, on personal devices. So working very closely with Abdul and our teams, we're trying to bring ways to deliver that IMAX experience, whether it's at home on TVs, on your personal devices, whether it's on-demand content or live content.
Very cool. And Abdul, you're responsible for the product and technology vision here. Can you tell us a little bit about your role and how this works?
So our goal is to bring premium and differentiated experience on what IMAX is known for. We see with sports is that there is a significant difference between movie experience in the home in the sports experience. Even if you look at the formats out there, they are not as premium many other apps that exist. We have the technology and team that can really bridge that gap. Enjoyable.
Very cool. So we've been working together for a while now. You built some of this on AWS. Tell me about some of the events that we did together last year. You had a record-breaking sellout NBA Finals in Hong Kong and Taiwan, of all places. How did that all come together?
Through AWS's global reach, through the reliability of AWS different regions, through faster time to market, we can offer this flexible way across many countries that IMAX theaters are in. There are 100 theaters across the world. We have done NBA Finals. We have done League of Legends as well across multiple countries. In the US, we have done the Whiteout game. Now, there are many events that we have done over the past months, and we are able to reach across the world because of partnership.
Live sports is really a template for the business for a lot of our customers as well. How has this impacted the business of your partners and your fan business? And you must really appreciate having more things to bring audience in. Live events are a great draw for audience.
Yeah, I think so. Just to step back and set some context, coming out of the pandemic, one of the views is how do you diversify the IMAX business so you're less beholden to just studio content. So one of the things we've doubled down is alternative content in our theaters, which was the impetus behind showing the NBA Finals in some of our theaters, the esports, live concerts, other forays that we've made into alternative content. And so, yeah, that's, I think, exciting to our partners because it diversifies what they can offer to their fans. And obviously for us as IMAX, it allows us to stand out in new ways rather than just pure theatrical content. And now the goal is how do you bring this expertise that we have closer to consumers in the home with this type of content.
And I was struck by, when I watched the NCAA final, the thing that struck me the most was the visual quality of the experience. I mean, how do you get that high fidelity visual experience, out of essentially a streaming platform in the large format IMAX theater?
We have deep expertise in vision science. We have scientists who have been doing this for decades, and they exactly understand what contributes to that captured experience. They build algorithms that watch video like humans do every step of the way, from content creation all the way back. And then we use those algorithms to optimize. We know what the experience is going to be on a giant screen like IMAX. At the same time, we know what the experience is going to be on a 65 HD. That's how we, with surety and through science, ensure that we are going to happily find it as IMAX.
So is it essentially the same technology under the hood that you would use to stream into a theater as you would to a mobile device or XTD? Or
That's the beauty of the technology, the way we built it, because in as part of those algorithms, we take into account what the viewing environment, what the size of the screen, how bright the screen is, any other factors. We can apply that in a uniform way, irrespective of.
now, Vikram, I've noticed that the IMAX Enhanced brand seems to be proliferating. You seem to be growing that business quite a bit. Can you talk a little bit about, the business aspects of this and how your business is growing as part of, as you mentioned, diversification coming out of COVID? What are some of the benefits for your customers?
Yes. Yeah. So we started IMAX Enhanced focusing on on-demand content. So file-based content, we've got great partnerships with platforms like Disney Plus, Sony, several streaming services internationally. And it's been very clear from the research that we've done, from the research that our partners have done, that IMAX versions of content in the home drive increased subscriber engagement, increased retention, and increased willingness to pay for the content, even though we don't upcharge right now for any of the on-demand content. So we think for when it comes to live sports and live events, the initial research shows that holds as well. So what this means for our partners from a business standpoint is you can unlock new ways of monetization that you currently don't have. So do you charge a premium for an IMAX feed of a certain live sports event? Do you get increased advertising rates because the stream that you're delivering is of higher quality? We are willing to work with our partners in different ways, but the early results show that the power of the IMAX brand and then the power of the technology that Abdul and the team have built can really drive a significant uplift for our partners, which we're really excited about.
Well, one thing that I know our customers are looking for is ways to engage their audience more deeply, bring them back more often. So compelling high quality visual content is part of the mix here. But you mentioned that it was built initially for on-demand content. So Abdul, what was the challenge in migrating this technology from, file-based on-demand workflows over to live stream? Very different challenge.
Yes, I mean, live in sports is as hard as it gets. I mean, that's why we're talking about challenging. You need to absolutely make sure that you're able to run efficiently, you're able to run at scale. And we realize the importance of that. We design our technology to absolutely run it at scale. We can run it at efficient. And that's what we do. But the ability to enhance content quality in real time without few frames of latency. We start that as a design.
Just a few frames. That's
and then on the scale side, because we could measure how humans measure quality in objective fashion, that's been validated through decades of in consumer studies. We know where those additional bits are not contributing to, and we can take those bits away. You scale in a much broader fashion across the network.
You're doing that all in real time. Right. So, shifting gears a little bit, I wonder, what it takes for a customer of yours to deploy the tech. So how easy is it for someone to get started with IMAX Enhanced today?
Through the partnership with AWS and the uniformity scale that AWS brings, we have used those technologies that help us first deploy using that's maybe the scripts, the cloud formation scripts, working with the who literally deploy this with a single push a button. And what that does is it stamps up the whole workflow, including the encoder, packager, but also a processing step that would enhance the content as well as the capture. It works seamlessly, demonstrated end to end. The use of all the models. Okay.
So you're taking advantage of the best that we have to offer in terms of our Elemental Media Services offering, other tool, but building value out on top. And is that available in the marketplace? How do you guys go to market?
So our Stream Smart technology is the way in the marketplace. The workflow to actually deliver the enhanced live stream is, we're basically saying that's a stream in, stream out. So you provide us with your stream, we will run, our workflow on it, and we provide you the stream back that you can then share with your more viewers. Yeah. So it's more of a managed service, very plug and play, easy to adopt. The goal here is how do we help our partners start delivering these better quality streams more quickly?
Talking back about the content, you mentioned esports or video games. I think you guys did League of Legends championship recently. What other formats or programming are you considering, or are you getting a lot of interest from other types of programmers like live music?
I mean, I think the theatrical experience, one of the reasons why it resonates, particularly the IMAX experience, is because it's such a communal experience. So you think about any communal event that happens in the world, we think we can elevate that on our screens, right? So we've done a lot of live music. We've done Q&A events with directors. We've done live sports. We've done esports. So anything people are watching together, we think we can deliver that at a higher quality. And similarly, when you're watching those things in the home, how can you deliver that at higher quality, and deliver a better experience for fans? So that's what we're focused on.
Very cool. When we build our products and technology, they're widely across all types of content. The question here is more about impacting. We want to maximize the impact, maximize the engagement. We want to work on the content that has the most number of eyeballs, as that matters at the end of the day more than anything else. We have those limited hours. So whatever the fans are watching and they want to make sure that they get the most premium experience, that's what the sports is something that people watch a lot, for obvious reasons. We are passionate about. Yeah. So that's why one of the key focus is on sports. And it's a lot of fun because it's very challenging. At the end of the day, it's fast motion content, moving content. You need to have very low latency, and that ups the challenge. And our team never shies away from taking the challenge.
Yeah, speaking of the technical challenges, live sports and coding, I've worked in business for a while. It's always proven to be one of the more challenging, types of content with code, efficiently. So typically you just raise the bit rate to try to get to all you want. But you said you've developed some proprietary technology that understands human perception. And you get it a little bit more into the underlying technology for this audience, just so they understand a little bit of the secret sauce under the hood, if you will.
Yes. So the first step, we understand where we can perceive impairments more ready content. So if you introduce the same amount of impairment across different parts of the content, you would perceive them more so in some regions versus
like regions of the frame,
and from motion perspective as well, you would not perceive. That's one of the key aspects of the technology, and that's adapted based on the type of screen and everything that watching.
Is that a machine learning algorithm that you developed internally? So
we have been
core technologies.
I've been using deep neural networks before people knew what those.
Yeah.
More than a decade ago. So, as scientists, we don't sort of just use the buzzwords. We actually do stuff based on that. And not only we understand where, what does good look like, but also we understand what content, how the saliency or the attention modeling works of the human visual system. If you're looking at the ball, and that's how you are trying to determine what the quality is, our science understands that. So we incorporate all of that into how we allocate bits. We make sure that we just have enough bits that are needed to get to that premium quality level and nothing more than that.
So the machine learning model actually does a little bit of video understanding the context and the semantic understanding, if you will, of the frame or the scene, and then applies bits where human beings will look. It's really interesting.
And it's not just for compression. It's also about all the other aspects, whether it's dynamic range, whether it's color, whether it's contrast, whether it's motion, frame rates, and all of that.
Really interesting. So, Vikram, let's talk a little bit about how you are going to market with this and how you engage within your community and other partners. What are the opportunities for other companies here at the show to partner with IMAX?
Yeah, so I'd say, the biggest types of partnerships we're looking for are people who have rights to these big events, right? So if we think about any rights holder for a major sporting event, we'd love to work with you to figure out how we can elevate that experience you're delivering to fans. There's also, we don't want to just limit this to sports. If there's other big events that we're thinking about, like live concerts, big tentpole events like award shows, those are all things that we think we can improve on. And so that's kind of the focus for us at this show today.
And you guys have a booth here at the show, right? You let people know where they can go to follow up, get more.
Yeah, we're very close to the AWS booth. I don't have the exact number, but it's in the West Hall. If you are facing the AWS booth, it's right to the right of it.
Got it.
1401.
1401.
There you go. Thank you, Abdul.
And you got
the one that knows numbers.
Yeah.
You're good with the numbers. Appropriate for a technology leader. So can folks come down there and get a live demo? Like what are you showing on the show floor and what's new this year?
Yeah, we are showing our range of products as well as the enhanced experience as well. So we would love to meet and talk about all things we can.
Yeah. So we've got our, obviously our enhanced demo for live content, on-demand content, which we can show off. We've got a stream-aware product, which helps monitor content quality. So we can show you kind of the inner workings of that. And then the product that Abdul mentioned, Stream Smart, which is the efficiency play around how do you deliver optimal quality at the most efficient bandwidth. So all of those are available in our booth to see and learn more about.
Great. All right. Well, I think we got a few minutes left for questions. If anyone wants to ask questions of these gentlemen, I'll go right here. So the question was, what's the round trip latency on the encode and distribution?
It's typical to any state-of-the-art workflow that you would deploy. Let's say in a live environment, you acquire content through Media Connect. All the way by the time you're done with packaging, you're roughly thinking 3 to 5 seconds plus minus. So in our case, would be a second or two. That's right.
So on-demand is done before the encoding step. So we make the enhancements and then deliver it to the streaming partner, then they deliver it to the CDN, so that there's not really a lag or latency impact there. It's basically a real-time process. Yeah, you can think of it as just another post-production step before it hits the CDN.
Okay, I think we have one here and then we'll go over here. That's a great question. This is a new kind of product line for IMAX, right? So, the question is really like, IMAX is traditionally a theater technology provider. Massive screens, high resolution camera, all that. How are you bringing that into the home, and how do you manage the expectations of content owners and creators to ensure that their original creative intent is preserved as much as possible?
So the quick answer is no. We are not asking for anything done differently upstream. So the content is produced as we have the technology, like Vikram mentioned, to understand if the source content is at a good enough quality level. We absolutely want to make sure that it's not a garbage in, garbage out. We can measure that and we can provide that real-time information. After that, we have a real-time enhancement stage we use. And as part of, within that stage, we are working on contrast, clarity of the content and color to enhance that content and then deliver it as efficient as possible. So the goal is to reduce the friction and not introduce any additional cost whatsoever when it comes to production, and bring it to market right away.
So the focus for live is how do you make the feed that's being delivered in the home on a personal device match the experience of being there. Of course, you can never match it. So there's no real creative intent there, but we're trying to improve or make the feed better. For on-demand content, again, creative intent is much more important here. And that's why that before we deliver a final version of enhanced content to a streaming service, the creatives have final say over that. So there's levers that you can pull to, back off of some of the enhancements we do, crank it up. That's an artistic decision. Ultimately, though, we feel that the enhanced version of any on-demand content we do has significant visual improvements compared to the original that the creatives had signed off on.
So do the creators generally give you positive feedback on the end results?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't review an approval, but I assume some folks are pushing back, but maybe
I think one of the
majority are happy with it.
one of the understated things is, for creators is that they don't understand how much deterioration there is of their original creative intent when typical streams are delivered in the home. So I think what they appreciate about us is the ability that's what IMAX has always stood for. We've built our business off of the great partnership that we've had with creators and studios, and anything we deliver in the home has to be able to retain that trust. And so I think there is an appreciation for what we do there.
Makes sense. Thank you. Okay, over here. Sure, there's a lot in that question. So first, what I'd say is, we have been building AWS media services and our CloudFront CDN for massive scale for many years. So we have some of the world's largest live events running on AWS without some of those issues that you mentioned. That particular event was truly massive. They had tens of millions of people. I think over 60 million concurrent viewers at one point. And you'll have to ask the Netflix team specifically about what they felt they could have done better there. But I know they're very serious about ensuring that does not happen. So we work very closely with customers and partners all over the world to help them design and architect their solutions for scale, reliability. We also have some advanced services and support specifically focused on live events. So in our enterprise support team, we've got a dedicated live event support team who can provide that eyes on glass during the event, but also help with pre-warming, load testing, and preparing for the event ahead of time. So we work very closely with customers on that front, and we've had many successes. We live stream with Fox Tubi, the Super Bowl on their platform, and they had great success there. Last year we did an exclusive AFC wildcard game on Peacock, which was the first major exclusive on a direct-to-consumer platform. And they had over 26.5 million concurrent viewers. So that's truly broadcast scale in terms of audience size. So we definitely have the platform and the scalability to support that. But it's a shared responsibility between our customers and us to make sure that we do all the right things to prepare for those large events. But thanks for the question. Hey, anything else? I think I saw one more hand. Yeah. That's a great question. So the IMAX brand is considered a premium brand, and people are willing to pay more in the theater experience. So how does that translate to the in-home experience? You said there in your research, there is a potential propensity to pay a premium for that experience.
Yeah. So ultimately, in our theatrical business, that decision around how much more you charge for an IMAX ticket, we can help influence that, but that decision is made by our theatrical partners ultimately. Similarly here, I think we have ideas about how our partners can unlock greater value with our technology, but it's ultimately their call on how they do that. So I think I've laid out a couple of options. One, if you're delivering a high profile event, which is a pay-per-view event, you charge a premium for the IMAX version of that stream, which offers a better quality. That's one option. The second is if you're an ad supported platform, are you able to extract extra ad dollars because you're delivering a higher quality stream? You're getting more engagement, and therefore advertisers know there's going to be more attention placed on their ads. So that's another option that we're potentially modeling out. So there's different ways we can go about monetization, but ultimately what we know is the IMAX brand stands for premium quality. It stands for a better experience, and therefore you can extract, I think, more value out of that by utilizing our technology and implementing it.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining me here, and thanks for being a great customer and partner of AWS. I'm super impressed with the work you're doing. Watching the event last night was really eye-opening in terms of the quality and the scale that you can bring. And I'm sure your theater partners are really happy to have additional events and programming to sell to their audience. Thanks again, Vikram and Abdul from IMAX Enhanced.
Thank you.